You got one more year left on your contract?
I do, yes. One more year on my contract, yep.
All right. And you're definitely playing?
Have not made a decision yet.
What would be the tipping point of why you would or why you wouldn't?
Well, I get asked a lot what's going into my decision, and for me, really, it's just going to come down to my overall health. Do I feel like I'm healthy enough to survive another NFL season? Towards the end of my career, I've had some back injuries and some knee injuries that have been really nagging and difficult to handle, and it's really going to come down to how those feel and if I feel like they're healthy enough to survive another year.
Why is it that we don't talk about linemen getting concussions? It feels like it's quarterbacks, skill position players. I mean, you guys are getting hit every single play. Is it because the proximity of, those hits with the opposition that maybe you don't get them as often? Or am I being naive?
Well, I think the linemen get the most overall hits to the head out of any position, but you don't get as many of the big knockout punches that, say, a quarterback or a receiver would get where they're laying on the field and they're unconscious. Typically, all of the concussions that I've seen between linemen, you don't even really see them on the ground. They just come to the sideline and they look a little bit confused and they have a hard time explaining what's going on, and then they get checked out for a concussion. Or even the next day, we had a player this year that didn't feel anything during the day. Nobody noticed it, and then it wasn't until the next day that they noticed it. But it's rare because the distance between us is so much shorter than, for instance, a safety hitting a receiver where he's getting a huge running start and coming in with the knockout blow.
What did all of this losing do to your sense of humor?
Hopefully it brought it out, because I think that's the only way to deal with one win in 2 seasons.
But it has to eat you up, Joe, that here you are, people talk about you being a Hall of Famer, and you've gone through more losing seasons than probably any Hall of Famer has.
Well, you hear people talk about the best way to cope with difficult situations, and a lot of times people say humor, and I think that's sort of been my coping mechanism over the years.
Would you trade in the Hall of Fame for a Super Bowl win?
That's a tough question. I mean, clearly Hall of Fame is the pinnacle of personal accomplishment in our sport, and very few people get there. But the Super Bowl is the pinnacle of the team sport. And since I'm not in the Hall of Fame right now, I can easily say that I would rather have a Super Bowl win.
With Drew Brees as your starting quarterback.
Absolutely.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.